Latina video podcast series. With the book launch coming up this December 12th, we have created this platform for you to get to know the authors in a more personal level and also to inspire other young Latinas to share their story and to lift up their voices. At the same time, with this platform, we would like to set an example for the upcoming generations. We need to empower them and remind them that they are more capable than they think.
Yeah.
And today I'm with my dear friend Giselle Gonzalez. ¿Cómo estás, Giselle?
Bien, Samantha, gracias. How about you?
Awesome, me too. I'm really excited for this. So tell us a little bit about yourself, Giselle.
Yeah, so I'm currently a college student. I'm majoring in biology as a pre-med with a minor in public health. So I'm going to the medical field. I hope to become a physician, a gynecologist specifically.
Wow.
Yeah, and so currently I work at Planned Parenthood under the Raiz Fellowship. So I work for the public policy department. So I've had a passion for women's health and reproductive justice for a long time.
Of course.
And then other than that, I have two nonprofits. So I'm co-founder of the Sideline Project, which is an organization that focuses on the empowerment and assistance of students of color, specifically undocumented students.
Okay.
And I also am the president of and the founder of the Association of Mujeres in Medicine, which is an association, an organization that focuses on the empowerment and creating a community amongst Latinas who are going into medicine. And then other than that, I mean, I'm a sister, I'm a daughter, I'm a friend, carry on a lot of roles, and I'm also one of the co-owners for our family business, which is George's Carpet Cleaning and Home Services.
Wow.
So it's a family business that my father founded, years ago. So yeah.
Wow. You do a lot, and we are really proud of you.
Thank
and also,
you.
I cannot wait to hear your dad's story.
Yes,
'cause I know
definitely.
that
Yeah.
You have brought it up a lot,
Yes.
and I cannot wait to meet him also.
Yes, definitely.
That's
Thank
great.
you.
So we know that today's Inspired Young Latina came about because of Young Latina Talks.
Yeah.
We want to know, how do you hear about Young Latina Talks and what inspired you to be part of this movement?
Yeah. So I want to say maybe like a year ago, I had gotten an email. So I am the president of MECHA on my campus, just doing an organization, and we're constantly like getting emails of events going on. And so I had gotten an email for this event, which was out in North Central. They were having like one of the talks. And so I remember I told a friend of mine, Joanna, and I was like, hey, like, let's go. Like, I didn't know what to expect. I didn't know what was going to happen. And I remember when I went, I actually ended up seeing another friend of mine there. And so it was really fun. I remember I saw Jasmine there. So hopefully she sees this. But so anyways, we all sat down together. And I remember I saw the two first ladies that went up. I mean, it was completely like, I remember I just kept like snapping, and I was like, yes, preaching. Like, I just felt every single message I was getting across, because, as Latinas, it's, we take on so much, but then like, it's very hard to find community sometimes.
Yes.
And so when I went to that event, I found that community of Latinas, of women who look like me. And so that to me was huge. And so since then I stayed in the loop. So, and here I am now.
Yeah, it's such an inspiring movement, and it's definitely gonna grow more. I'm pretty sure.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yes. So how beneficial was for you to find this platform to lift up your voice?
So one of the struggles that I've had has been that I never thought my story had a message, right? Like, I always thought, my story is very common. I'm a first generation college student. I'm a daughter of immigrants. It's something we hear often. So I never really thought that my message has significance. But, I later, through, I guess, self-discovery, I realized that it's important to understand where we come from, and, who we come from to pretty much understand where we're going and how we can move forward. And so to me, that was understanding where I come from as far as my parents, and specifically my father. He has a very empowering story, and I think, growing up, I always heard all these stories from him. And so that's why, my chapter, my book, I dedicated that to him, because, it really understanding where he came from and where I come from, and having that connection, I think that's what really put me where I am today. And I mean, I always say he's pretty much been the one that has made me into the little woman that I am today. So yeah,
that's
definitely.
Amazing. The héroe.
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
So what does it mean to you to be a young Latina?
Well, being a young Latina, I think that it represents that, we're in charge of the next generation, right? Like, we're in charge of creating the next generation of inspired Latinas, and I think we do that through creating community amongst us. And I think that it starts with us sharing our stories. And so to me, being a Latina is understanding that this is where we come from, this is who we represent, and this is what we're going to bring into the world. And I think there was just an article that was published for the Latina Pay Gap Day that said that Latinas is the future. I mean, we're the ones kind of generating the most money now. Yes, definitely. And so I think that's significant. And I think that we need to celebrate that and we need to acknowledge that because we really are the future. And it's crucially important that we create a community amongst us. So that's why, like today's Inspired Latina, I mean, it's huge because it's a community that we're creating to just keeping each other motivated. Yeah.
Of course, and create that representation to
definitely. Oh my God, yes, representation is huge.
Yes.
I mean, and create the representation that we needed when we were growing up, right? That we want.
To the table,
exactly. Right? Yes, exactly. And I think it starts there, and so it's very empowering. So I think being a Latina it's being resilient and it's having perseverance and just being strong. Yeah.
Of course. Well, congratulations for
everything,
and also congratulations because in a few days you will become a published Latina author.
Thank you.
Do you ever think that you were going to be a book author one day?
No, not at all. Actually, I was just in the car the other day with my mom and she told me, she's like, can you believe you're going to be a published author and you're only 20 years old?
God.
So, and I was like, you know what, ma, no me ha caído el 20. So I was like, not yet. But definitely, I would have never imagined myself where I am now. And I think that little Giselle is very proud. So
yes.
Definitely. So I'm very excited.
Yeah, I think the same thing. It's like I'm dedicating my chapter also to my 16-year-old self. And we need to do that because that way we are going to be ready for the next step, you know? So that's amazing. And what does it mean to you to have your story on paper? Some people have said it has been healing. Other people have said it's a closure. But what does it mean to you?
I think to me it's a reminder. It's a reminder of why I'm doing the work that I do. A lot of the work that I do, it's with people. It's with community. A lot of my activism has been within the immigrant community, specifically the undocumented community, because of the background that I come from. So I think it's a nice reminder of why I'm doing the work, especially dedicating this to my father. I think it's a nice reminder to have that, this was my motivator and continue doing and continue moving forward. So to me, I think it's a good constant reminder to have of why I'm doing this and why I continue to do it. So,
and it's great to have it embodied on paper.
Definitely.
You can always go back and read it and be like, okay, you're not giving up. You're not giving up. O como quien dice, no, si vas a tirar la toalla, que sea en la playa.
Exactly, yes.
Yes. Well, Giselle, share with us some of your future goals and how do you plan on making them happen?
So I think my most kind of long-term goal is becoming a physician, getting my medical degree, working in gynecology. I would love to do something maybe within Planned Parenthood one day, being one of their clinicians or potentially, being independent and having my own clinic. I think that's kind of my long-term goal. Yeah, I think that's the becoming a physician just because, the Latinx population in our country continues to grow and the doctors that, we're not reproducing enough doctors. And so we need to make sure that our population is getting the resources and the treatment that they deserve, especially when it comes to healthcare. And I think one of my main passions is making sure that those communities that are underrepresented, specifically undocumented folks, are having that access to healthcare and have those resources. So I think my long-term goal is to become a physician, make sure that dream gets accomplished, just because, deeply rooted inside of me, that's my main passion, and making sure that those communities don't go, underrepresented or untreated. Yeah.
Definitely, especially nowadays that we see that healthcare is not accessible for everybody, and that's really extremely sad.
Yeah.
But hopefully us as the next generation, we come up with a solution that has, give equal access to healthcare for everybody.
Definitely.
Because that should be like a global right for everyone.
Yes. Oh, I agree. I think healthcare is a human right. I think all individuals, regardless of status, color, income, background, they deserve and they need access to healthcare regardless. And I think we are that generation. I think something that I am very proud of our generation is that we've made noise and we've made differences all around, and so we are definitely the generation to not mess with, because we will make things happen. And so I think that with our generation, we definitely will do something. And so I hope to be a part of that movement.
And also to inspire the next generation.
Yes.
You know, we need to let them know that, okay, we went through this with what we did, and definitely be the representation that they need, and the representation that we need.
I agree. Yeah, definitely.
Yes. Well, thank you so much, Giselle.
Thank you, Samantha.
Everything with us, for sharing this experience with us. We invite you to read her chapter. Make sure that you read Giselle's chapter in the book. But before we end, Giselle, what consejo or what advice would you give other young Latinas?
I think definitely, and this is something that, you know, I had to look for when we were writing the book, was that to me, it's perseverance, and it's keeping that perseverance and being consistent. You know, that to me is huge. So, you know, we go through so many things, and we face a lot of obstacles, but keeping that perseverance of that, nonetheless, she persisted, nonetheless, she continued to move forward. And so I think that's kind of the advice that I give, regardless of what obstacle you may face. Keep moving forward, carry that perseverance with you, you know, and just move on forward and continue to be great and inspire the next generation of Latinas.
Yes, great message. I just really can't wait to read our book
and
have it on my hands and be able to get inspired by all the 13 authors. And also, we encourage you to write your story, reflect on it, look how far you've been. Sometimes we're not able to acknowledge that because our life goes by, you know, so quick. We're always moving forward. And it's good to, like, if you are on the verge of giving up, write your story and see how far you've been.
Definitely,
you know? Well, thank you, Giselle.
Thank you, Samantha.
Don't forget to get your copy of the book. Keep watching the episodes so you can meet all the authors. You can find the book on Amazon.
Yes,
Today's Inspired Young Latina. You can find it on Amazon. And if you want to find out more about our movement, you can look us up on today'sinspired.com/young. Thank you for watching, guys. See you on the next episode.
Bye-bye. Thank you.